For me, there were never any doubts about this film, considering you have good writers on board, an incredibly inspirational director, and these two hilarious and great actors. And, of course, the trailers were good. Unlike a different Captain Marvel film this year. So, is this film bad?
No.
This film is,
In a word, awesome.
Shazam is a great, heartfelt, coming-of-age, family superhero comedy, with action sprinkled in there. This film is essentially what you get if you put Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2's theme of family, combine the concept of big, and have the tone of a 90s film or the Sam Raimi Spider-Man films. It feels exactly like that, along with Deadpool's metafiction writing. The tone this film has is great, and is the main reason why it's so full of heart, and I love that about it. Like, it's just so funny, and it's got great action sequences. It's really funny. Sadly, a lot of the good jokes were in the trailers. Most of them were in the trailers. I'd say the best joke in the whole film was in a Chinese trailer, which of course I watched. But yeah, no, incredibly funny. Action was great. At some points, the CGI did look a bit, okay, well that's clearly not real. But no, it was really fantastic, and it felt really real and grounded because you have these amazing fleshed out characters. And Zachary Levi gives such a great performance. He really lets out his inner child, and his words, not mine, he's practically a man-child. And I love that about him. He's so energetic, and he brings this film to life. He does such a good job as Billy Batson. He feels exactly the same as Asher Angel's character, Billy Batson. Like, they feel like the same person, and he just brings so much energy to the film, and it's just great. It's just so great. And then Asher Angel, he's great. I've never seen him in anything before, but he's really good. I'd say Zachary Levi does more of the funny stuff, and then Asher Angel does a brilliant job at making you relate to him, and he deals more with the sadder side to his character, and I think that's great, and they both do a great job at showing how they're pure of heart, just like this film is. Jack Dylan Grazer, I loved him in It, and I love him in real life. He's just a great kid, isn't he? He's really good in this film. I'd say Zachary Levi and Jack Dylan Grazer are on par on performance, because they have great chemistry. Their chemistry is amazing in this film. They play off each other incredibly well. But yeah, Jack Dylan Grazer's character is great. He's great at giving the audience sympathy, which is great. The writers flesh him out so well. He's great. He was great in It, and he's even better in this because he has a better character to play. You know, like, his character is written so well, and I love that he's almost like an in-universe DC fanboy. I think that works so well for Billy and Freddy's dynamic. I think that's just great, and I love that aspect to it. But then also how why he's so obsessed with superheroes, because it gives him hope, and he's such a fleshed out character, and I really love Jack Dylan Grazer in this film, and he's great. Yeah, this is it's so good. As I just mentioned in the writers, the script is amazing. I think this may be one of the best scripts of this year. The script is so real. Like, this film is so real and grounded. The dialogue was good. There was no expositional dialogue. Well, other than at the beginning where you got Digimon Honshu, and he's like, hey yo, I'm a wizard. You got great dialogue, you got great subtle hints to things, which if you've seen my latest video, the rule show don't tell, you know that that's important, and this film does a great job at doing that, showing and not telling. It has a really good script, and the story isn't really anything new, you know, it is just good Shazam versus bad Shazam, but I love the family aspect of it, and I love that is focused on more than the bad guy, because it's handled so well, and I feel like we've never had, I mean, I can't talk from experience, so maybe I'm completely wrong, but from what I've heard, like, most foster family portrayals are really bad, and I love how they handle it in this film and how they portray it, and it's just done so well, and I love that that is the focus of the film, how the theme is family, just like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, and I really love that about it. Yeah, so the foster family's great. The two small child actors aren't the best. They never really are, to be honest, unless you're Jacob Tremblay. The music wasn't really memorable. It was just generic sad song, happy song, you know, stuff like that. The ambient songs, like the original score, wasn't really that memorable. Like, it would complement the scene, but it just didn't sound too amazing. Costume design. Costume design is great. I love how they did this with Aquaman, and I love the costume design of Aquaman. How they're making everything comic accurate, and people don't like that because it just looks goofy, but that is the whole point. It's goofy because it's a comic book film, and I love that about it, and the costume design's great, and it just makes the film even more vivid than it already is, and I think that's great. I love the beginning of this film. The film has a really great opening. God, the film's so good, and it foreshadows future events so well. I've heard people say Dr. Sivana is a bad villain, and I think maybe that's just because he's not necessarily the focus the Foster family is. But he's not. He is a great villain. He may have needed a little bit more screen time, but you completely sympathize with his character. And Mark Strong, he's a great actor. He gives another great performance in this film, and yeah, no, I just really like his character. His character's really cool. He has a understandable motive. This film is structured really well, but the pacing is a bit weird. It gets to the bit where you're like, oh, this is going to be the final fight, sweet. And you're just like, hold on, like around 2 hours have gone by already? But yeah, it got to that point and I was like, oh my god, the film's about to end already? And then it went on for like another 30-20 minutes, and I think the final act went on for a bit too long. So a bit of a pacing issue there. You know, first, second act goes so smoothly. It's great. But the final act slows down a lot. It slows down a lot. And, you know, it's never boring, but it doesn't go downhill in any of the other aspects like script, dialogue, and action and comedy. When it comes down to it, in my opinion, if the script is good and the characters are strong, you've got a good film, which this film does. It has some of the strongest characters that I've ever seen. Yes, you could still have bad cinematography, but this film doesn't have bad cinematography in my opinion. There were no special shots other than in the beginning, but the cinematography's fine. It was in focus. This is definitely DC's best film, because it's the only good film they've released. DCEU, that is. You know, Aquaman was okay. But yeah, no, it was really good. This film feels real, it is grounded. I love the 90s tone. I love the theme, I love the characters, I love the script. Everyone is brilliantly directed by David F. Sandberg. Just, this film is great. It's one of the few films that can make me laugh, cry, and go, holy moly, that's awesome. All within a span of like 20 minutes, and it does it constantly. Please go see it if you haven't already seen it already, because there's been like 10 million previews.
Started thinking about my friends all the time now. Started thinking maybe they aren't even mine now. I don't smile if it really makes her better. I never really knew her, but she got my favorite.
I loved the big reference. The Superman cameo at the end was a bit of a shock, I'm not gonna lie, because, you know, I think they're trying to steer away from making a cinematic universe and just trying to make a good film. I think that was purely there for a funny moment. The crocodile people in the door, I don't really read that much DC comics, so I don't know what that is, but that's cool that they implemented a comic book reference for fans of the comics. Is Pedro his name? Oh god, I can't remember his name. The larger kid, I really love that they hint at the fact that he's gay. You know, I really love that about him. You know, when they walk through the strip club, he's just like, not my thing. And I think that's so great, you know? Just having a gay character but not forcing it in your face. It didn't need anything more than, not my thing. You know, links to what I said earlier about doing a great job with the script and dialogue, because it does a great job at showing and not telling. But yeah, I don't like how they all turn into superheroes. I feel like that was just their way of being like, okay, we need to set up a sequel, and we need to find a way for Sivana and Billy to have a talk while the 7 Deadly Sins die. Like, it was unexpected, but I didn't really like it. Honestly, why'd they have to get Ross Butler from 13 Reasons Why? Like, he's actually a pretty okay actor in that, but he's just a meme. Why did they get the Asian guy from 13 Reasons Why? And also, none of those older actors, other than the woman who played older Darla, none of them feel like their younger counterparts. The rest, especially Jack Dylan Grazer's older counterpart, are just atrocious, and they don't feel like the same character, especially Jack Dylan Grazer's character. It feels like a 30-year-old man doing a really bad impersonation of a 15-year-old Jack Dylan Grazer, and it's laughably bad. Okay, I'm going to go watch Unicorn Store now, because I've been waiting for that to have a wide release since TIFF 2017.